A new season for new art, new creativity, new laughs, new stories, and of course, the Media Prince. I welcome you. Conversations with the Media Prince.
Nike Boy.
What's going on, y'all? You're here with your boy, the Media Prince, for another episode of Conversations with the Media Prince. I got this dope, talented brother next to me, creator, innovator, artist, music manager, serial entrepreneur. The list can go on and on. The one, the only, Low. How are you, brother?
Big Low, better known as Brian Bailey. I think I might drop the Low in a little bit. I might just go by the namesake. It's real legendary on this side.
Okay.
Low is fun, and it still is fun, and it still is Brian, but I think I want to represent, I want the world to know me as Brian Bailey.
Hey, what made you come to that realization?
I just feel like it's just something that I need to do to kind of hone into me more, because I feel like everybody always just trying to figure out what's the difference between Low and Brian. I always tell them it's not a difference. So since it's not a difference, why not just go by Brian? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my birth name. That's what I was raised as. That's what I grew as. When I apply for a job, I'm putting Brian on there, and I'm presenting myself as Brian. So I'd rather just go by Brian Bailey.
Hey,
so,
and it's easy to cash checks with that name too.
You hear me? You hear me?
So we are sitting in your canvas, man.
Yeah,
all this dope
space.
All this dope artwork. A lot of us got introduced to you through the music scene. I know for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you was capable of doing this, but talking to you further, you've been doing this.
Yeah, it's always been I've always been a creative. So whether it was just either dressing, making stuff look good, I always had the eye for what was attractive. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's just in me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't really put your finger on it, but I mean, people know me for years, and whatever I've done, it's been that. It's never been a time that you can associate me with anything corny or anything that wasn't cool. It's just, people could walk around and say that they're that guy, but are they really that guy? I feel like I'm really just that guy. So it's I can do it. Whatever I want to do, I can do it. And this is, for me, the art it started as a stress relief, and it just works. I feel good. I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but this kind of has a relief for me that nothing else is provided. So it's a little bit more personal. That's why instead of going into this as Low, I want to go in as Brian Bailey. This isn't just another chapter. This is probably the final chapter of my story. This is what I'll do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Of course, it'll transfer into kitchenware and clothing and brand consulting and stuff like that. But this is what I want to do.
When would you say your creative eye even awoke to where you knew I could do any aspect of this art thing and it's clicking? When would you say that?
Shoot. I was freaking 16 years old working at Six Flags, and when you get into management at Six Flags, you start to decorate the games with the different prizes and stuff like that. So you get to learn the colors and the symmetry and what works with which. And a lot of people wasn't paying attention to that, and I feel I was picking that up so much that it just transferred into my fashion. And then once it got to fashion, you go into XIB and the Sweezy gang, and now we got all these bright colors on, and it just made sense. They were already doing their thing, but when I popped out, I was doing funny videos on Facebook or something like that. It's a crazy story, but when I was doing the videos on Facebook, I actually worked at Six Flags with Crazy with Tay and Black Sweezy, and they invited me out to dinner. It was Tay, Black, I think Top Dollar came out there. We went to dinner at Hooters in fucking Chinatown and had a real live meeting.
That's one.
Yeah, it was some jokes in there. we had a real live meeting about me joining Sweezy Gang and kind of, you know, we all just taking it to the next level off of me just doing funny videos on Facebook and just how I was dressing at the time. And it just all just worked out. But it really just came from Six Flags. Like I said, just putting those prizes up at those games and making the games attractive. I really just learned the symmetry and how, like I said, the colors work with each other. And it sounds so simple, but it just clicked. Like right there, it clicked. Literally, it clicked.
Did you have somebody that inspired you in that realm?
Nah, not at all.
So is there anybody like you creative in the family?
My older brother does music. My mom can draw. She can draw, like she can sketch like crazy. Mm-hmm. Not really. We all kind of do our own. We're all just kind of good at our own thing in our family. So it's kind of like I was on. It's crazy. You said I was on the phone with my dad yesterday. It literally brought me to tears because he's like, "Where you getting this from?" Mm-hmm. He was like, "I'm quiet." You know what I'm saying? I like to work. You know what I'm saying? I chill. Where you getting it from? And I was like, "Bruh," and all I could say is Six Flags because. Everybody knew I was a mute. Like 15 years old, I wasn't talking. I wasn't running around all exuberant and all this body language and stuff like that. When I started working at Six Flags and they put me in the games department, I low-key applied to be a lifeguard. And they told me, nah, they put me in the games department. And it was either you going to sit here and talk on this microphone and make some money or you going to go home. Hey. And one thing I wasn't going to be at 16 was broke. So
what year was that? You were at Six Flags?
2008. I started 2008. I applied in 2007. They told me no. I came back, applied again. They moved me from. I didn't know how to swim.
You picked the perfect year because it's funny story sidebar, y'all.
Yeah.
I worked at Six Flags from 2006 to 2007.
Okay. You was running that joint.
No. Well, let's just. I worked at the Panda Express, and then I did the move to the rides.
Yeah, I got
you. We got broke off. Somebody stole all the checks.
That's how I do it. That's how. If you went to Six Flags, that's how I went in that joint. I ain't get into it, but that's how I went in there. Like,
man.
But nah, just working there, they kind of turned me into this enthusiastic beast, and it kind of taught me the process of talking to people and reading body language and being able to use your tone of voice to make people feel good and then spend money. But most importantly, like feel good. They used to always say like, we want to sell the experience. I don't care about the prizes or the merch and stuff like that. Just make sure everybody feels good. And just being there and working in the games department, I realized the more fun I was having with the people, the more they would spend. The more they would come back. I mean, the conversion rate to ticket holder to season pass was crazy in my time. Like, the revenue was crazy in my time there. The sections I was working in, we were making a lot of freaking money for the park. And it was just all based on the enthusiasm and the stuff I was passing down to my team members. And then I got into leadership. And then I got into higher leadership. It just taught me everything I need to know as far as just being a great human being and being a great businessman.
Okay.
I owe that place everything. Hey, well, they probably owe me everything.
They need to get at this point. I hope they watching because this would be a nice little sponsorship.
Sure, they probably, contract go crazy.
Hey, so I want to take it back to when I first met you, which was as a music manager. We were actually heading to the premiere of your dope artist.
That is the first day I met you.
Man,
shout out to Ikea. She's working real hard right now. She got a project she's about to drop.
Hey.
She's been able to reset, refocus, and she's just in a phenomenal space right now. She has some very dope music, putting together some very dope content, just putting her all into it. So I appreciate her for that.
Hey.
For real. She's going super, super hard right now.
How did you step into that world of music manager?
So it kind of just came from like the go-go. So when I got with XIB and the Sweezy Gang, we would just be at band practice. We would be coming up with songs. Me, Mikey, J-Bo, Space. Then it was Vito. Then at the go-go kind of died down. Top Dollar started rapping. Mm-hmm. So we was all just together. And back when I was a kid, my older brother was making beats in the basement. So I would get home early from school and I would sneak in his room and just learn how to make beats. And he caught me one day and then he would just teach me how to make beats. Then he got a new computer. He gave me his old computer. So now I got my own beats set up in my room. So my brother in the basement making beats. I'm upstairs making beats. My mother's like, y'all motherfuckers. You know, she never got on us too hard because we wasn't outside being reckless. We was just in the house being creative. So when it got into like the band and the music, it was just it was just easy for me because I was doing it since I was a kid. Like I'm talking about 11, 12 years old, chilling with my older brother making beats. Shout out to Nick Jagger, like one of the most probably and not just because he's my brother, he has so much talent. Y'all just gotta listen to it. So just being able to create music and being able to have the business aspect from knowing how to leverage relationships at Six Flags, putting all that into one whole package, bro, I'm a monster.
I was
like
ready to
literally
that too. The business aspect of it is where you really thrived at, because as the manager, you're really handling all that part.
You got to talk to these people and just being able to go in any room and be comfortable and just speak freely. People notice that and they want to be attached to it and they want to help you help them because they know you have something to offer, because you can go anywhere and be great. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't do that. So just tapping into that when it came to like the go-go and then it switched to the music, being able to just see things for the bigger picture and knowing that it's bigger than just this one circle or this one area or this one city and stuff like that, and being able to come up with concepts on the fly or being able to want to stand on something. Like, you gotta think, when we did Fuck the Radio, we was probably fucking 19 years old or something like that, and music in the DMV was bubbling like crazy. You had Fat Trail, Slutty Boys, Light Show, Top Dollar Sweezy, a bunch of like that core, what they call it, the grandfather generation now. We was bubbling and nothing was getting played on the radio. And me and Top was sitting in the house making music one day and we literally was like, fuck the radio. And that shit just turned into a whole nother thing. Like, I mean, it went crazy on Twitter. Radio station was calling us the me type of thing, and it just kind of turned it up to where a lot of people don't realize, and I feel like they don't embrace it because it's just something with the Sweezy gang that everybody just didn't want to accept because we were just that far ahead. But I feel like there wouldn't be DMV music on the radio if we didn't say fuck the radio. We literally said fuck the radio, and then probably 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, there was DMV music segments on the radio. Literally. Nobody's talking about that. It's cool though, because we don't need no recognition, but I just want to make sure that's known that, and motherfuckers remember, we had the whole city screaming fuck the radio. We had posters all through the whole city screaming fuck the radio. Literally. And now we love the radio, but at that time, they wasn't showing us no love. They wasn't showing nobody no love. And it wasn't just fuck the radio because they wasn't playing our shit. It was fuck the radio because they wasn't playing nobody's shit. Nobody's shit.
Dang. And from that conglomerate, the next big conglomerate that you had, First Impressions.
Yeah, First Impressions. First Impressions is a automotive car customization shop. It always has been like a thing. Me and my brother Pops, we met working at Six Flags, and we always just been cool and been locked in. And Black is with he's with us at First Impressions too. We always just been locked in. And Pop really introduced me into like cars and going crazy with your car. You gotta think Pops had a Nissan Altima at probably 20 years old with some fucking 22s on it, and he got it painted this lime green. And both of us are just loud, and we just living our life, and he was just killing the car world, just talking this shit, and everybody just kind of, it just made sense. Like, he was just killing it. He had a popping car club he was with, and he was just doing this thing. And then me with my business aspect, it just matched in God's timing, and it just worked immediately. Like, as soon as he called me and told me he was ready, I literally quit my job. Like, people don't know, well, people do know, because of course I was up in C Pleasant, building the city hall, building a public works facility, building houses and stuff like that, with one of the biggest housing developers, not housing developers, but one of the best real estate agents in Prince George's County, Maryland, which is Shamika Price. She's solid, like one of the best. Like, she's like my big sister, like a mentor. She kind of, when she seen me at C Pleasant, she was like, yo, you bigger. Like, she knew immediately, like, yo, you bigger than this. Her sister said it as well, like, you a go-getter. You're gonna do something big. So it just kind of, my brother called me. He told me he was ready to go. I put my 2 weeks in. I went on vacation, came back. I think that was September 4th. I put my 2 weeks in. My birthday was on the 6th. Went on vacation, came back, signed the lease on the shop the 29th. Darius Geis from the Redskins, the running back at the time, he was my first client at the shop. And he signed on September, I want to say September. Is 30 days of September? I don't know. He signed on between the end of September or the 1st of October, and we did his car, and it's been up since then.
Hey.
But it's just, I mean, I feel like I can't miss. I feel like I always look past the beginning before I even start. That way I know where I'm going.
Does it scare you that you're so good at so many things?
Mm-hmm. That shit terrifying. Terrifying. Literally.
What would you say to somebody that is just like you in their realm of work, and they have those terrifying thoughts as well? What do you say to them?
Just go. I'm getting teary-eyed.
Just go. And now you see this right here. This has been, like, when I say this seems like to be the conglomerate that's really made you a household name.
That's the first one.
Wow.
We gotta pause. I'm really crying.
That's lit, bro.
Yeah. I got another 4K.
Some of the viewers like how we jumped to that. So he had a moment where he shed a tear, which was dope, and it was. I feel like I want to ask you from that moment of where you were. What does Brian say today to that guy that was at starting his first day at Six Flags?
Not a damn thing. What, little nigga? I'm the same nigga. That's the whole cat. I'm the same. You can ask anybody. They gonna say, bro, ain't changed. He been said it. Literally.
And then where does this take you?
Peace.
Because just looking at him, there's just like different emotions.
Hell yeah.
And it seems like it's
I be
very
coming to the house
therapeutic.
mad, bro. I be coming to the house mad as shit, bro. I be coming out mad as shit. I be coming out stressed out. My little business is hard. Like, that shit not easy. So, even when I did that joint, it's like, that weight off the joint. I'm like, damn, I gotta do this again. It's like you being your own therapist. That joint was like, I felt free. Like, nigga, I could have fell to the ground and laid down for 45 minutes and just looked at the ceiling because it just felt so free to me. And I was like, damn, boom. Did that joint. I think the next one was, I want to say the next one was, no, I did this one first. I did this one over here first, and then I did that one. And I thought I had something with this, because this one felt amazing, because I had a goal and I had a vision, and it turned out exactly how I wanted it to, but I couldn't recreate this. I tried to recreate it and I just wasn't feeling it. So I didn't want to force it. Then I did that joint and I was like, damn, it just clicked. I was like, bro, this it. And then I just went. And then I went. And then I went. And then I went. And then there's some other smaller joints like that. And then I said, man, fuck it, let's go. And now you see 48 by 60s. That's all I want to do now, these big ass joints. This is my first 48 by 60 right here. I'm talking about, I probably bought 2 of these size. And they sat for 2 weeks because I was scared. Just jumping, scared. And my grandfather passed away, and I did that joint that day. I did this joint that day. And I be scared of. Did that joint that day. Did that joint I dedicated to my grandfather that night, and then I did those 3 right there in the middle of the night. And now all I want to do is large scale stuff. And talking to other artists, it just when you channeling that energy, that's just how it works. Like it just won't stop. And they always say just create as much as you can. And just speaking to all the other artists today and telling them I only been paying for 3 months, they're like, bro, it's about to go. Like definitely it's about to go. And you just feel it. Like we talked at the Shoe City joint. You was like, bro, do you realize what's happening? I was like, yeah, I could kind of feel it. I try to be humble a little bit, but it's like...
So I always tell people, I'm glad you said that, because it's this thing, as being a media entity here, my thing is just to watch and promote the talent that's here. But there's certain weathers where you'll feel someone's wave intensifying. And and a lot of the times when I'm watching talents, I don't try to watch them as media prints. I watch them as somebody that's learning of them for the first time and seeing how it's different. Once you step into this realm, I could see it. It was a difference. It's even how you, and of course we know you're still the same, but there's just like an additional oomph that oozes with you now. That's like really dynamic, and I think that's that freedom.
And and the reason it's scary is because at 16, this was like me at 16. I feel like I toned it down because I didn't want to be in the front. But when Mo shoot my biography and he go and talk to everybody I worked at Six Flags with, they were like, yeah, that's bro we know.
But then it goes to show you too, as and like the viewers that need to know this part, as you're it the moment you discover you're it, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%. And that, like I said, they'll tell you, bro, he knew what he was at 16. Once I grabbed that first microphone, I made this. It's a picture somewhere. Somebody got it. I grabbed the microphone. I was working at Food Adjuster, and I made my first probably $10, and it felt so good. And then I made this crazy ass face, and the people was eating it up. Then the lady got it on camera. I gotta find the picture somewhere, but that's when I knew, like, oh, all right, this is about to be easy. Then I just honed in on it, and I just trained myself. I would go home and talk into the mirror in the bathroom like I'm selling a game, just to kind of get a script or get something crazy. Then I would go. It's like a comedy show. You practice your drink with your homies and shit like that. Now I would just practice it with myself, and then I would go out to work. I would work 7 days a week. I had endless time to practice and master. I was the shit in that joint probably by like my 3rd week, just because I was probably practicing.
So I got a deep question for you that we touched on that, because I look at art as freedom, and with freedom comes power. As a black man that has found freedom and power, what is your thought on society trying to divide the black man from art?
I feel like there's nothing new. I feel like all the art in the world has been stolen from the black man anyway, so it's like, I'm waiting for the day somebody try to steal my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing you can really do about it. It's kind of like you just kind of go with the flow until we have enough people in position of power to kind of like mitigate it or stop it. It's like, it sucks to say, but it's a part of the world we grew up in. So I try not to let it affect me as much as like everybody else do, but I'm comfortable in my skin, and I know how strong I am as a human being. So a lot of shit that'll upset somebody won't really upset me, because I know I gotta go home and pay my bills, and me arguing the point ain't gonna get nothing done. I'd rather put the boots on the ground and put it in motion than run my lips. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that's how I operate with everything. So it sucks, but I mean, it's just kind of how it's been programmed, and we just gotta keep working hard enough to be able to break that program.
Okay.
So I don't feel like it's something that's gonna happen overnight. I don't feel like it's something that's gonna happen with conversation. That shit come with work. This shit come with work. My life come with work. I work 7 days a week for 10 years straight to be this peaceful and to be this happy. Literally working at a job and working on myself every day.
Do you believe the time thing? There's this dope journalist. She has her show on Showtime. Her name is Z-Way, and she was on The Breakfast Club, and she says it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, or at least at a place in your career where you feel the most happiest. Do you believe that? As far as like that time left, and she's not the first person I've heard. And it's just like, when you just said 10 years, it just made me think like, damn, everyone is saying 10 years.
I believe it to a certain extent, but even like with me in this space, I'm in the best space I've ever been in my life. I know that it's going to be better 10 years from now. I know it's going to be better 5 years from now. So I can't even say I'm fully satisfied now, because if I'm when I get fully satisfied, you going to know Miami BGR shorty, Honolulu me. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, relaxation is going to be all you see. I'm going to turn into a travel influencer. Because at that point when I'm satisfied, I just feel like it ain't no more work to be done. And who going to start working? I'm not going to start working. So it's like, you got to find that thin line of appreciation and satisfaction. Because, like I said, once I feel like I'm satisfied, I'm not pouring nothing else into it.
Hey,
but I can appreciate it enough to want to keep going and keep growing. I feel like I'll never be satisfied. I can be as happy as I want to be in the world, and I can just appreciate it. I would never want to be 100% satisfied because I would never want to change anything.
I got you. What are your lucky numbers and why?
7 and 2. 2 because I always feel like I was like this slept on underdog. So like, and 2 is right behind number 1 all the time, no matter which way you put it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's 7 is just because I wore 7 when I played football, and that's when I realized I was good. Like, I was good. I played football 1 year. I was a quarterback. Like, they tried to put me at center, and I told my coach, nah, nigga, I could throw. I was probably fucking 10 years old. Nah, bro, I could throw. Bony ass nigga at center. Nah, bro, I could throw. Went out there, I do one drain out the shotgun. I was like, all right, cool. And we had the quarterback at the time. His name was Carlton. They was twins. Yeah, Carlton and Carlos. They was twins, and they was playing for years. And when I stepped into that joint, they had to move around. And I was realizing that at that age, like 10 years old, like, still a shy kid, still quiet. 7 and 2. 7 because that's when I realized I was good at something. That was my first time ever being good at something because I was a quiet kid. Like, football was just like an experiment for me. And 2 because I always felt like I was an underdog. Sometimes I use 11 too because it just looked good. That 1 and 1, like 1 and 1, 1 and 1, it just looked good to me and it feel good. But 7 and 2 for sure.
So take us in. I'm so enamored by your mind. What does this process look like? Is there certain music you gotta have on? Is there a vibe that has to be going that gets you in this element to just wanna express yourself on blank canvas?
I feel like it really just comes like in my spirit. Like it just really, I could come in the house and tell myself I want to paint, but by the time I eat and sometimes I smoke, I just be ready to take a shower, go to bed. Sometimes I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and do 2 joints and go right back to sleep. It literally comes to me and that's it.
And when do you know you're finished?
When I feel like I'm doing too much.
Okay.
And it'll be like, as soon as I tell myself, bro, you're doing too much, I stop. And it'll be done. And like, you could look at them and you can see how prominent like the black is, and out of all of the colors and stuff like that, the main focus to me is the black because that's like the strongest color, and that speaks to the culture. When I'm done the painting, the last thing I'm putting on there is the black because that's the end all be all for me. It's the end all be all for the culture. What is the culture without the black?
And a dope part of hearing it is that you listen to yourself.
Yeah, hell yeah. And that's just from training myself over the years. You kind of learn.
That's a hard discipline that a lot of us fall, you know. And when we listen to ourselves, we realize ourselves got the best interest there.
Nah, for sure. Because who's going to take care of you outside of you?
Nobody. So what is next for you?
I'm gonna just keep doing my thing. It always worked. I just always did my thing. No matter what room I stepped in, no matter where I was at, I always did my thing. It's kind of like I just move around, and I just like the vibe with like-minded individuals that don't be on bullshit.
That part.
That ain't worried about no fucking comments. That ain't worried about no negative shit. And motherfuckers that know how to Joan. If you know how to Joan, you can deal with anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I graduated high school in 2009, and if you ain't know how to Joan, my nigga, you was dead meat. Like, you gotta learn how to take it, and you gotta learn how to get that shit. It's like, nigga, oh yeah, fire your ass up quick, easy, and it's gonna be good too. I've been fried one time in my life, that was in the barbershop. Out of that was it. I've been in a lot of joining battles in my life, only been fried once in the barbershop.
Hey. So, before I let you go, I wanna play my famous music either or game with you. I've been able to play with half the people that you already managed. So now it's your turn, my brother.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you 2 legends. The person you say stays. The person you don't say never existed, never made music.
I got you.
And I'm gonna give you
That's easy,
3 passes.
I don't have no ties. I ain't gonna pass on nobody. I don't got no ties.
Oh, let's get it going then. Tupac or Biggie?
Pop.
Okay, Pac stays. Jay-Z or Nas?
Hov.
Okay.
I never really listened to Nas. That's crazy, right? And it's fucked up because I know Nas. I listened to Nas' most recent album, and he was talking that shit on there, like talking that, going crazy on that joint. But I just feel like Hov had that full package, and he was able to put it together, and he was able to create the music, and he was able to work with the producers to put everything there and make it super, super relatable and listenable to.
Yeah.
If listenable is a word, I just be making shit up. But he just made it for that time in my life when he was dropping the Blueprint and the Black Album and shit like that. That was, if you feeling like a pimp, nigga, go and brush your shoulders off. I just started getting girls at that time. I'm in the crib.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just in that perfect pocket. And now when I listen to Nas' new album, it's like, I probably could have listened to him back in the day, but Hov was just talking that shit for me. Literally.
Eminem or J. Cole?
J. Cole. I never really listened to Eminem. He's a great artist, though.
Okay.
J. Cole.
Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
That's tough. That's a tough one. I'm going to have to go with Drake. Same reason I went with Hov.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Future or 2 Chainz?
Future.
T.I. or Ludacris?
T.I. Same reason. Well, shit. T.I.
Okay. Kanye West or Lil Wayne?
Weezy.
Okay. Andre 3000 or Common?
Andre.
Okay. Let's do to the ladies. Remy Ma or Nicki Minaj?
Nicki Minaj.
Lil' Kim or Trina?
Trina.
Okay. Eve or Foxy Brown?
Eve was fine as hell, but I love me a little shortcut. Then she had the little tiger paws right here. I was a kid, just about to get up on them jokes, you hear me? Like, Eve was fire. She didn't leave her dude.
Okay. Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B?
I'm gonna have to go Cardi B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lotto or Doja Cat?
Damn. And I'm thinking like both of them make good music, but Doja Cat fine as hell. But I feel like Lotto puts together a better body of work. I like Lotto. I really like how Lotto dropped that album, and it kind of, she took us everywhere on that joint.
Okay.
I never really listened to a Doja Cat album.
Okay. Last but not least, Missy Elliott or Left Eye?
Missy Elliott.
Hey.
Yeah, Missy Elliott is that's the mecca. Like, that's the mecca. Missy, Busta Rhymes, Timbaland, Magoo, all them.
Hey.
That's the mecca, bro. Like, you know, the Brat, Jermaine Dupri, you can't play with that era at all. Like,
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the king right here. Please let them know where they can follow you and find you at.
right now you can follow me on Instagram at Low Daddy. If you don't know how to spell it, then you don't really know me. You need to get to know me. Figure it out. Ask somebody, they'll tell you. I don't feel like spelling it out.
Luckily, it'll be below.
But nah, like, just, you know, if you want to follow. If you don't follow right now, I see you later when you do. Enjoy yourself. Be yourself. Appreciate yourself. Love yourself. Love everybody around you. Be honest. Be truthful, which is the same thing as honest. And just do the right thing.
Hey, and I was going to ask you that. I like to leave off with saying what motto you live by, but you just gave me so many nuggets.
Just do the right thing.
There you have it.
When you spin around and you try to finesse and all that stuff, it's going to bite you in your ass. Don't nobody want to get bit in the ass.
Amen. Conversation with the Media Prince, shot by MOB. We out.